Order. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Minutes for Tuesday, April 28th. The third paragraph on page 2, we had brief discussion afterwards on what we know, and I had noted that average run times we're going to add additional minute and a half onto ambulance runs, as well as concern for citizens of the city of Ashland that 80% of the call volume on EMS is ran in the citizens of Ashland. Those are my concerns. That the average run times were averaging a minute and a half, additional longer to key response areas in the city of Ashland, and that 80% of the runs are made annually in the city of Ashland. Were my concerns on discussion.
And I want to point out at the same time that there was no discussion on hiring someone to inspect the building at that time.
Those changes up. So I'll second that. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Carried 2-0. Any committee reports?
No.
Any committee reports for the week? Okay. So we got Terry and Mark up here today.
Got a little bit of new information. No. Some information up on costs and favors.
this is a bid for,
To replace that Gilchrist thing.
the Gilchrist. Is that what it was? The last was Gilchrist?
I don't see any figures on horsepower.
It's 100 horsepower.
100.
Should be in that, probably in that gray section on the bottom right of that sheet you got.
Mm-hmm.
Might be in that specs.
Let's see it.
If it's not, it's on the actual other quote.
And, so how did the two machines compare? Do we,
Similar size, similar.
Yeah, similar, and Dean is back also, if you have any other questions on that.
We have 3 total now. Another one came in.
oh, 3 bids?
Yes.
Okay, from,
Benjamin has been, yes, this morning or
I
yesterday?
emailed it over today.
Yeah.
okay.
So there's been one more since you've got,
Yeah.
Barry.
Yeah, okay, that's what we're talking about here, right?
No, this is, Barry's a different one.
Oh, you're right, you're right.
Yeah, it's different.
Okay, okay.
I don't know that Eric.
I don't think I've
You
got
print out
one.
the second
This is the Barry. And do you have
The first one, we got received last week.
yeah, did you see the numbers on that?
You know, I may have.
We got in here also.
It's probably just quicker for you to get it, because I'm not.
This is-
No, I didn't see that.
The water.
Okay.
This is Barry's ball.
Did you get this last weekend? or-
Yeah, he emailed Terry, Terry emailed Jeff.
Yeah, I just got it like late yesterday when we printed it. Do we need that printed out, or is that the same thing you got
I
there?
think it's the same
I
thing.
haven't had a chance to really look,
Yeah.
What Barry emailed you?
I haven't had a chance to really look at it.
He brought it by last
Yeah,
Wednesday.
last Wednesday. And then you emailed that to Jeff? Yeah. It should all be there.
three different brands, is that right? Is that what we've got?
Carlson, Malden, and Wyler.
Yes.
Who has Carson? Who,
Van Keppel.
Van Keppel.
Van Campbell?
Yeah. KEPPEL. I think we've purchased burgers in the past.
Yeah, you got, we're a Volvo dealer also.
Yes, oh, okay. So differences in Mark, you mean differences in machines, I mean,
Well, just, I've had the guy that runs it, that ran for years. This year will be the first year I'll have to run the laser machine. And he's looked over everything, and he's kind of partial to the winder, just what he's seen.
Is there any special features that any of them have versus the other? I mean,
These
I mean,
guys.
I hate pitting guys against one another, but, I mean, something that
Good question.
unforeseen. I mean, it's not my intention to pick you guys. I mean, like tread width, or, you know,
horsepower, or
something that's maybe,
I think horsepower-wise stuff, everything's probably pretty close.
that looks very similar.
The Carlson one I quoted, we do have like heated end gates. The end gates are actually heated there to help with your seams, some of that. Our hoppers, half-inch thick. The drive chain, some of that's more like a highway grade class paver built in. So I don't know.
Right, absolutely. I mean,
My name's Randy Jordan. I'm with Foley Equipment. I'm another one of the paving specialists. As far as the differences, I mean, Carlson makes a nice paver. We've been, as a cat dealership, we've been selling Wyler pavers for about the last 5 years, and currently have 25 of them in the territory. You know, as far as difference-wise, engine-wise, horsepower-wise, exactly the same. You know, Carlson has a cat engine in it, as well as the Wyler. The Wyler is built up in Knoxville, Iowa, which we're kind of considered their home dealership. We've got 8 service technicians that have gone to the Wyler service training. That specifically, that's all they do is deal with paving equipment. Myself and Pete Martin, I think you might have met him last week. The Wyler, it's a little heavier, or not, the screed is heavier. It's actually a 3,000 pound screed for commercial size paver. It's the heaviest in that size class. As far as heated in gates, you know, that's an option. It's a $600 option. We do offer 2 different options as far as steering or joystick controls, which we've currently got the steering wheel coming standard. No cost either way, but out of the 25 that we got in service, most everybody's gone with the steering wheel. Easy, more easy of operation. All wear items are replaceable. A lot of the, you know, I think Carlson may be as well, but a lot of the other models are more of basically once you wear them out, you wear them out. As far as the differences, we've got a little bit bigger hopper.
A short mat, narrower mat.
Well, that's, I mean, you can lay, basically it comes standard. The way the paver's set up right now, standard, you can lay anywhere from 1 foot out to 15 foot, 8 inches, which rolls out to 16 foot. It is in that class of paver, it's more of a highway. I mean, it's more related to a highway paver as a commercial paver. But again, we've got, biggest difference, I think, in this, got a lot of testimonials in this area, mainly in the Kansas City areas where we got, 25 of them running. As far as the cat dealership, serviced and operated, or serviced and warranty through cat dealerships, we carry parts in stock. Obviously, since we have 25 of them out in the field, we're pretty well known with the equipment.
Do you have many?
We've got several. This is a somewhat new line. We've only been selling about 2 years now. but we put several out, Kansas City area, and we cover Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Arkansas, so I mean, we got them spread out all over. But, we keep them in stock. It's a, you know, a common machine. That's why our lead times, I mean, we could start it up tomorrow if we needed to. But, I also put on there, you know, we'd be happy to host you guys up there, actually lay some asphalt with it or do something with it if we need to. But yeah, if you want, some references or something, I can put that together. No problem.
I don't know, is there the dual operating station?
Yeah.
Seats and setup for both sides?
Set up for both sides, one left-hand side seat.
Okay, we're set up either way, so.
The warranty's the same.
Our warranty is 3-year, 3,000 hour powertrain hydraulics on the paper itself, 3-year, 4,000 hours on the CAT engine.
The machine's got a 12-month, 1,000-hour full machine warranty. We've got extended warranty available. I just didn't quote it.
And actually, I think we've.
Yeah, there's maintenance plan in there as well, yeah.
Maintenance plan providing filters for the next, all service filters and for the next.
Liquid filters for the next, if you're running 250 hours a year, which is kind of what we projected, 5 years up to 1,200 or 1,250 hours. And then we've got air filters coming in at 500 and 1,000 hours in there as well. That's with Ashton County doing the service in the shop. They're providing the oil.
Yeah. So P385A.
And I think I heard correctly, you both offer training on.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what we normally have, it's called a POS, basically paving operations seminar that we hold annually during the winter months. We always do this with our CAT pavers. This past year was the first year that we had our Weiler paving operation training class. Had 40-something folks sign up. We hold it in the Kansas City area for myself, and then a couple of Weiler reps come in. Basically, we'll go over the operations of paving, some of the basics. Good opportunity to get a group of guys. Actually, we had the City of Lenexa, City of Olathe, you know, a couple of the governmentals that came into it, and then quite a few of our contractors, and so it's ongoing training. It's just not, you know, we're not going to come out and drop it off today and walk away from it. And we continue to have training.
What have we run in the past, Mark? Just, I mean, what have we ran in the past as far as different types? Just what do we have?
Yeah, that was the first, well, we had an old Malden before we had the Gilchrist,
Okay.
and it didn't work out well. But, yeah, the Gilchrist, like I said, we've had it for 12 years now.
I'd ask you, you know, as far as what you're running or what you like to see. I mean, I'm not a paving expert,
Yeah,
so
that's why.
probably wanted to get your input. Well, Terry probably runs it too, or probably should run it.
Sure.
Yeah, that's why I've had the guy come in, well, even today, and look over some stuff.
Okay.
Because like I said, this will be the first year I'll have to run the paver. Usually I'm hauling the asphalt.
Yeah.
But, yeah, what he's seen, he's kind of partial to the Weiler, sorry.
That's all right.
But that's just what he's looked at, and he's,
I imagine you probably haven't been on ours, so.
yeah, no,
I'm
he's,
surprised.
he's used to the old Gilchrist also.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Probably anything's a step up.
yeah, yeah.
I know the feeling.
So let's, it should take enough. This is the very, yeah, it's 139,000 for that paper. And Kevin Carlson is the additional service, is that?
Includes everything, yes, your warranty, your extended warranty, your maintenance plan, yeah,
You're fine.
delivery setup, everything's in there.
And what are they giving for trade-ins, 10?
Yeah, that's, Foley was giving 10,000 for the trade-in. So that would be 154 after trade-in. They also use that could use that 10,000 as, the first year payment on the lease purchase. Do you see
Oh,
the
okay,
lease?
yeah, I remember that from last week.
So there will be a payment until February 16, which makes it nice, since it wasn't budgeted for.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, I'd be, if you guys had looked them over and were comfortable with the, the car, no, I'm sorry, the P385A, the Weiler figure, if you guys are comfortable with it, I'd probably be comfortable with that purchase.
I don't too, I mean, actually, I don't have anything against any of the machines.
Yeah, they all look good.
We don't, we're not experts, so we can't.
Right.
Absolutely not, but, you know, this is a case where I have to almost defer to recommendations, you know,
Yeah.
that's what I have to go on.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, so, yeah, I would not have a problem with it. I wouldn't have a problem with any of them.
Yeah, yeah, they all look like good machines.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion to purchase the Foley Cats, the Weiler P385A asphalt paver, amount of $163,409 before trade-in value of $10,000. So that price would be $153,409 on 60 monthly purchase.
And we are taking the option of using the trade-in as our first year lease, I mean, you described.
I believe so, yes. On lease purchase, that was considered
Okay.
the first payment for 15 and then 16 would be, yeah.
I want to get that straight and in the record, so I'll second that motion.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Carry 2-0.
Anything more?
Just, if they deliver the paper, like, at the end of the week, and the weather stays nice, the guys would like to get started,
Okay.
Okay.
they would like to do 4 10-hour days.
You know, that would
I
help us
know,
out.
I know we're waiting, but they feel like they can't wait any longer.
Yeah, if we could get started on asphalt, well, they actually help out on any project we
Sure.
do, because we've got more hours in the day.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference.
I know we're hoping to hold off until we.
I know.
Yeah.
That and having our third.
Yeah, we usually started by now, honestly.
Yeah, hopefully you understand why we held off on
Well-
jumping, we weren't held anything, I guess, doing the hours.
And
was-
everybody kind of plans their summers around, because we've done them for 20-some years now, so it's,
Yeah.
everybody kind of plans on them, and, well, especially the farmers, you know, it helps out.
Absolutely. To me, it's the best scenario also, because you don't have all this downtime of starting, and, I mean, you got extra start stop.
Well, like we talked about on chip and seal, we can do 2 tanker loads a day whenever we get to that point. And on 8-hour days, we can only get 1 tanker a day.
Yeah.
So you either get 5 loads a week or 8 loads a week. It's a win-win situation.
Where we get planning on starting to pay initially? I mean, I know your schedule was on
We looked
grids
over-
and over the place.
We looked over some of the roads that Matt had scheduled for last year that didn't get to, so we'll probably start on those paving, that way they'll be ready for sealing in 90 days. So we kind of looked over that yesterday. and-
Yeah, we start where we didn't finish last year, kind of what we're going with.
Worst case first, I mean,
Yeah.
right.
And start with the roads we're planning on sealing, so it has time to set.
And, somebody had a question about, I didn't know what the road name is. It's September Hills. I have no idea what the road name. They'd asked what the status was on that, because all the chip is coming.
That's what we call it, September.
Is that one of the ones you're planning on? Okay. I didn't know. I was like, well, I'm not sure what the potential is. So.
Yeah,
We haven't, did you write it out, the schedule?
No,
No,
not yet.
but we did look at it.
Yeah, I figured you had a schedule, I didn't,
Yeah.
I knew what the bridge replacement and the culvert schedule was, I didn't know.
Yeah, and some of that stuff, if we can get started asphalting, we'll probably kind of scoot it aside unless something major comes
And
up.
the culverts are just every day.
Mhm.
We were finding it have to come up here and,
Yeah, somebody came in.
well,
Yeah, the list keeps growing.
and the weather's not up.
Yeah, it's been awfully rainy.
They were going out to Frederick today to put in and to which,
But yeah, that's.
Actually, and I'm assuming that I would be in favor of going to the 4-hour work week. I know it's not.
4 hours.
Yeah, the 10 floors. Do you have any problem with that?
No, not necessarily, I think we were just, you know, until somebody was hired, you know, road and bridge superintendent, if they had different ideas or different schedules, we didn't want to.
We thought we would have one by now, which, you know, helped.
Well, I think
All those.
a lot of the people we talked to, we talked to Ben Hurley, a lot of the guys he knows, they do it. It's just, works out good for everybody.
Yeah.
so what, do you know, next week is the deadline, is that correct?
Yeah, as far as I know, I mean, I was hoping Bill would be back for interviews and.
The deadline, I mean.
For the, to schedule interviews for
Oh.
road and bridge superintendent.
Okay, well, I was thinking that went to the first of May.
And then didn't it get to the 12th?
Well, yeah, until Bill gets.
I didn't know it was extended.
Yeah, we don't, and
Okay,
we
so
should have
this-
a third. Yeah, we don't have, I mean, unless Pat can give some advice on.
I don't have access to whether anybody applied to apply.
I'm sure he will.
Or he will.
But, I don't know how you would do it, I guess we could just proceed on.
The two of you can look at those and decide if you want to hear.
We may have to.
Well, first of all, we're okay with the 410 hour day.
Yes, does that need to be voted?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so let's take care of that first. I will make a motion that the road and bridge be allowed or change their work schedule to 410.
I'll second that.
Probably next week.
Start next
As
week.
you see that.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
320. And then we need some, sorry, I'm not trying to jump ahead, but we have something signed from Dean.
Yeah, I just got one, and then if you're okay with finance documents coming back at a different time, we'll take care of that.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then Randy can just draw you
Let's try and do that.
We've got 100 later on in the fire.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do that. Yeah, no.
Oh.
Never
Or the girls, our finance manager.
61 over here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
No, I don't have a question. Do you need my? Yeah, well, it's one of those things I haven't read them.
know what copy of that.
Do you need any of the?
Why is that?
I just need to look.
There should be a letter from, yes.
I think we're gonna have to at least start preliminaries on, interviewing for the position. I'm sure that he wouldn't have a problem with trying to at least get the field down to where we could attempt to schedule. I mean,
That's fine.
I mean, like I say, I knew this, I don't know exactly the protocol, but this is just my understanding.
Let's see what Jamie does, let's see what Jamie's doing, and that's all, we'll bring it over to Jamie to get that information.
At least next week we could maybe schedule something that we would know more about Bill coming back, or we could do the initial analysis and possibly weed out and plan something next week.
That's fine, next week. We got, the permits we have to do next week to do, just preliminary budget, budget schedule. So that's something I know that is.
Jamie has to be here.
Yeah, I don't know how long it'll take to get the application information from the applicants.
But I think we could at least do an initial scan of it and see what.
Yes.
Okay.
Good, that's getting over the,
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Have you worked on your truck yet?
They started on it. They got started. I think they're kind of booked up, but the guys were down there last week, and so they were getting started. So hopefully a couple of weeks we'll have that done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Shelley?
You want me to come back, or? You want to visit?
5, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're okay.
You got 5, Shelley.
Fine.
I
don't need anything.
Yeah, that's it. I'll start right out.
Hurry.
Monthly update, is that what you're?
Yeah.
Okay, well, how's your office and
Doing good.
doing good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a little bit of a problem this morning. I guess my authority was taken away on my CIC. And I was trying to we had an update, I couldn't do it, so I called for support. But I think they got that taken care of.
Okay.
Because I don't have nothing to do with the other offices, you know, it's the money and stuff. Mine's just for my office, as far as, I got that straightened out. With CIC, because they're the ones that informed me I didn't have authority to do updates on my system.
Doesn't work.
I wasn't either. I didn't know, because I've done them all before.
Who'd you contact to get it remedied?
Well, I contacted Wes, but he was in a meeting, and then Josh,
Okay.
and then Rainey, the CIC representative, she talked to Josh.
Okay.
That's supposed to be reinstated, I guess.
Was that just inadvertent?
I have no idea. I don't know what happened. I know there was a problem with the treasurer's office and stuff going on there, but that has nothing to do with me. So I don't know why it was taken away. But other than that, everything's going fine. Reporting's going fine.
Good.
Doing good.
Any talk on mortgage registration fee?
You know, actually, I checked my fees, and this time last year, I'm $15,000 more
This year?
now this year than I was last year, so.
Was the volume higher, or?
We probably had 120 more documents this time than we did last year. So it's going pretty good.
Great.
Hoping to have, the documents online still, but we're still redacting, because a lot of the old mortgages have a history numbers on them. We've got like 80 more books to go through.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
There are older documents that, before me wasn't redacted on the system. So we're trying to get those all redacted so that when they are online, that people's social security number isn't stolen. So,
360.
okay.
That's about it. I mean, just
Yeah.
trying to keep in touch and communication with.
Yeah, stop in too, I mean, if you have anything.
When you saw it next week, 2 o'clock, just a quick open session on budget season and.
Next Tuesday is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we sent something out on that point. We haven't sent anything out on that. We sent out externally. Okay. Okay. We're
Okay.
on it now.
At 2 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we had anything on the agenda. I asked them, we have something last week. 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
I think we
Recall
did.
anything.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for coming out.
No problem.
So we got several people here from Mount Pleasant. What is?
For us guys?
Yeah.
I thought they
I'm the
said
new
Porterville.
clerk.
You're the clerk.
I'm the one that was elected in November
Okay.
for the Mount Pleasant Township.
Okay.
I got it, I thought they said Porterville too.
We ready to go our way? No, we're 20 till, I mean, we've got, the next one scheduled 2:15, I believe.
Joe was scheduled at 1:45.
Yeah, Joe canceled it, yeah.
He was here this morning.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we was scheduled for 3, and then they called and said it'd be Corridor 2. Here.
Well, divorce,
I don't have any of them.
Who else is coming?
Yeah.
Divorce,
Should be the only one.
Oh, is that right?
Franny?
I think Pat had called,
Might be.
we called him back.
Well, I called his attorney, John Kerr, and wouldn't even talk to him,
Okay.
make sure it was okay with him, so I thought he was on it. I think he wasn't.
Okay, no, we got time.
Yeah, so it's showing.
Well, there's a couple of people,
Oh, you're waiting for some people?
Dolores and,
Well, we can probably go ahead and get started,
a
and
couple other people were coming.
Ed's got a lot of information to see. One of the problems is, I guess Bruce Lowe's not willing to give the books up to Kathy so she can have an audit, for one thing.
I mean, how long have you,
She's been in about 5 months or so,
Oh,
since
thank you.
January, I believe, 4th or something.
First of all, could we introduce ourselves, because I'm new here and I don't know about it.
I can't hear it, but.
Yeah, I'm John Horton, this is Ed Novinsky, right here. This is Mike Horton, my son, and this is
I'm
Kathy.
Kathy.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Swigert.
You want our signatures?
Yep.
And who's the other one besides Mike Horton? Who else?
John
Horton.
Where's Bill? He's not here.
Yes, he's in the hospital somewhere.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he's still at, Katy Med Center.
Well, I don't know our new commissioner, I probably know his dad.
you Jim Knowles' son?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I should have introduced myself, yes. I stepped in for
Yeah.
Rodenhouse and had to
Yeah.
step out, so I got appointed to take his place, for good or bad. But, would you like to,
Welcome to the.
would you like to come up
Yeah, you
forward,
can
so,
sit up
I know
there
you
and
said
have-
it's hard to hear, so, we can go
Yes, they're good.
come forward.
I'm just. Why are you there?
Okay, well, part of the problem is, we've been trying for almost 2 years to get that brush cut out there on the road, 246 Road. I've talked to you numerous times. And now Bruce Lowe, he won't turn the books over here, so I don't know what he's trying to hide or what's going on. But we want those books turned over to her so she can have an audit, so we can see where this money's going. If we're not gonna fix the roads, we'll see where the money's going.
Well, that's just it too, Jeff. I mean, if you knew how much, I mean, there's over $500,000 in that township's account. $500,000, I've been on for 2 years trying to get that brush cut down on that road, and he won't do it, he's doing it for spite. And there's no way somebody can have that much power in a position.
He played a lot of, had a road over there by Becoming. And a fellow had the pasture rented down there, and the road went to hell. And he couldn't get down to his cattle, and Bruce said, well, walk down. And I think Bill went out that time, told him to fix the road. He's got,
That's just the way he
there's
does
a hell of a
it.
lot of nepotism in these papers here. Giving his daughter and
He's got
son-in-law and stuff money.
check is pretty iffy, so we want them looked at, make sure it's not.
First year in 214, he gives.
I have a copy of what he's talking about. I went to the bank. I promised Franny I would do that. And, I contacted the bank to see where I could get into this, and, you know, I needed to figure it out. So I'm on the account, so I asked for the statements to be sent to me, to be started, sent me a copy. Franny had 6 checks, what I have copies of, and I also who signed them on the back. 3 of these checks are not, put anything on them, but one is, they did an audit, that's what it says. And this would be Bruce's wife and Bruce, and Donald Reese, which is Janice Reese's husband. When they first brought these checks to their attention, Bruce said it was an audit. Well, they wanted to know why a family member like that is doing such an audit. I guess everyone knows what they done.
They can't audit.
Yeah, family members can't audit township.
So I kept asking Bruce for these checks, and he said, I don't have them, I don't get copies. But I called the bank, and yes, they do give me a copy. They will. And then this last meeting, he told them it was for tree removal in the cemeteries. Well, that just didn't go well. So I actually went to the bank and got them. And they're written to Bruce's wife. This one says David D. and his son Diane.
The son-in-law, David Lowe with his son, and Florence Lowe, we done that for 1/31/14. Then to get over here to 12/31/14, he give them $1,000 there. He gives them $1,460. David Lowe, Don Reese, and Florence Lowe in 12/13/14, and that's all out of the general fund. That's the cheapest fund in there.
So it sounds like they're just supporting his family with the tax now.
But he gave her, tell him about that.
Okay,
This ain't enough red flags to get something, them books pulled away.
Last month, I called Bruce a couple weeks before the meeting, or our our monthly meeting, and I called Bruce, he didn't return my phone call, so I called him back, and he was very pleasant. And I said, can I have a copy, a disc of what you have on your computer, because you keep telling these people that you have this spreadsheet on your computer, and I need a copy. So he showed up with this floppy disk that's it's very, very old. So, being who I am, I turned it over to a CPA that does my taxes. And he tried to open it, and there's nothing.
There's nothing even on the disc.
You can't read anything if you could. You can't get anything out of it. You probably know it's Jeff Thorne.
Which we know you don't keep stuff like that anymore on a dang computer.
And then I asked him about us paying our quarterly. Well, he wouldn't give me that, but he did, I found this. And this has our tax number, it has how to get to it, it has a PIN, it has an account, but I just happened to fall into this. He told me he didn't have it. And he gave me this piece of paper.
Can you access that account, or that?
I haven't tried this yet. The reason I gave, Jeff Thorne the thing is because I don't have a computer that old. And Jeff is he's a businessman, and I just trust him. He does my taxes. So I asked him to look at it for me, and he tried to, he could not get it.
So I opened it, it was just physically.
No, it's one of those little square ones from the 1990s. It's not a round one.
Yeah.
There's nothing in there, he said, there's nothing.
But why would you do something like that? If you're not trying to hide something, why would you even,
And you could invest in audit, or
to me,
what have you done for the 2014?
To me, he's saying the ceiling.
Well,
The general fund, he got $2,400. The first check was, he said that was all in the books, and I asked him about this, $1,400. Well, he said they went out and cut trees down. His wife.
in December, at a cemetery.
His wife and his son-in-law and his grandson. Got the check, cut trees in December. He's just lying to us.
So when I asked for an audit, the township had decided that's what the best way we should go. So I said, okay, so I called Kramer and Associates in Leavenworth, and he said, that's not a problem, we can do that. So I was waiting for him to call me back, because he's been really busy doing everything. So anyways, I contacted him. He says, you need to bring me the books, this thing from this check statement and all that, and I said, okay. Well, I went to Bruce to ask for him, and then this is when he just kept telling me, I don't have it, and you can't, it just never would go nowhere. I couldn't get him to give me what I asked for. I couldn't get him to just hand it over. I wasn't asking for anything bad, I just wanted to make sure that these people were so worked up, and we needed to see why. But there's $600 in the cemetery fund that's floating around out there, nobody knows where it is. And if you look at the budget, if you just look at the budget from one year to the next, there's so much difference, it just doesn't match. That's the only reason, and if I'm gonna sign a check, I need to know where and what's going on.
No, Paulina, what do we receive from towns? We receive something annually.
$2,400 in the cemetery
What have you
fund.
done so far about
What they
Like say more or less, or anybody who signs a check?
Yes, I have,
Just their
and I'll look
budget.
here and tell you where it's signed and who they went to.
That's fine.
Oh, so expenditures and revenues?
Yeah, we told him.
That can be reduced to them.
That they lie.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, they wrote that, okay.
And then you tell me sign it.
Well, I didn't know for sure if they had that or not, so, okay.
Did they file the annual report?
He finally did.
Yeah.
For the budget, yeah.
The cemetery fund, there's,
Yeah.
$2,400 in it.
Those checks were made
Three
out
of
on
them.
January
Check
twenty-seventh.
for
Janice
$400
wasn't
apiece.
even supposed to be writing
Went to his
checks on
grandson.
January
I know.
twenty-seventh. She was gone.
Show them to Jimmy.
There's somebody
Yeah,
supposed to be
I was
there.
supposed to be
Mowing
there.
yard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, we don't.
I mean, so, we want, how do we need to send a sheriff out there to get the books? I mean, not right now, but like
Send him out there.
yesterday, somebody should have been out there. I mean, you know, this is ridiculous.
Give me 3 days, turn the books over.
This is where Janice is still finding checks on January 27th. She was gone, she should have got anything. I know, I just
I got a call from
showed
Jay.
him. Our new one was in as of June,
Okay, she was
January
no longer, okay.
4th. She shouldn't have been.
I didn't know if she was physically gone, or you meant she died.
No, she just wasn't supposed to be on the 30th.
Gone can mean.
They wouldn't let her on for it. I think Jeff is aware of that, they wouldn't even have a meeting, when they wanted to have a meeting after the first year, they wouldn't even let her, they wouldn't even tell her. If it wasn't from us helping her, she wouldn't probably got on it when she was elected official. So, I mean, we had an extra time even, they finally got it, so, you know, it's having meetings now, at the church, and for a while, they were jumping the meetings around, I mean, it was ridiculous.
Well, Bruce said that, the reason he did that is because he got tired of being hollered at, and it was just easier to have a little short meeting and not say anything. But I understand from them.
Why do you wanna do your job then, you know?
I'm kind of envious.
Well, you know, every question we've asked for 5 meetings, he has not told us the truth.
Jeff, I want to bring something to your attention while you're looking at them.
Uh-huh.
That handwriting is Janice's, and I've worked for that township for over 10 years, and she has always, as long as she's been on her, has always written out the checks and everything. As soon as she's went off, Bruce is doing it now, and since he has started writing the checks out himself, everyone that I've received, Kathy can verify this because she signs them, he's messed every one of them up except for one in the last, since February. He don't get the right amounts on there. He signs them with a different name almost every time. But, and people has asked, to try and avoid this, why don't Kathy write out the checks if he's having troubles, and he won't do it.
Well, he's mad at her because his daughter, she ran and filed and ran and got it. Well, his daughter never even filed, and then, of course, Kathy beat her big time. She had a few write-ins, but I'm sure there's some, you know, feelings there, and so he's really trying to make it over the
Well,
yard.
but still, but if,
You
you
know,
know,
that's not right.
luckily, I'm honest, I have caught him, just did it last week, he didn't make mine out for the right amount, I caught it, didn't I, Kathy?
You did.
And we had to have it corrected. What is he writing to other people? Are they right amounts?
And so Kathy's the clerk, Bruce is the treasurer of
Yeah.
the township, and then
Yeah,
Joe
the
Alter
trustee.
is the trustee.
But
And-
like he says, if you go back, you can go back a lot of years and you can see where Janice has done it
Has
all.
always done
Bruce
it.
didn't do it.
Mhm.
He
But I
did
guess-
not do his job.
I guess what my point is what I think a lot of what, the reason we're here to make it plain and simple, if the man can't even write out a check and not writing it out for the right amounts, why has he even got control of a checkbook or being able to handle money?
Where's so Joe Alter, the trustee, where's the trustee in all this? I don't see him here.
He just backed up Bruce.
Yeah, he ain't no better.
He actually told me at one meeting that I couldn't say something that sounded like I might be calling Bruce a liar, after he lied to me 40 times.
What else do you think?
You know, that's my question.
You know, I
Their
think,
neighbors, their friends, they're not gonna like them.
and
That's the whole problem.
actually,
Put Joe
if you
in.
go back to the last election, not this
Two
one,
uncles that-
Janice was not elected, Mark Mullins was, and they got him removed somehow, and then they came up here and got Janice put in. My understanding, if you go back and look at the votes, she had almost as many votes as Mark Mullins, but they got Janice put back in.
They was gonna do the same thing with her.
Yeah, well,
They was gonna make round up on it, yeah, we all.
So,
it's just been a hornet's
Yeah,
nest.
just- just tell.
so what do you want the commissioners to do? I guess you guys are all the reason.
Well,
I want you to go
Aren't you
check
in
books.
charge?
Aren't you in charge of the funding?
no.
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 Who's in charge of funding for the township?
The county collective, it disperses it directly to the town.
The people on the board of
Correct.
township.
See, and I don't even know that.
Okay, well, that's who I need to talk to then. We need to do away with funding those guys till they resign, because there's no sense funding something. If you're not a family member or their buddy, you're not gonna get anything done. And that's not working
You know,
for me.
they went and bought a new tractor because their grandson was gonna start mowing the road. I'm not gonna say it was new, it might have been a new used one. But then they took that money out of the road fund, not out of the special machinery fund, that has $500,000 in it. And they did the more the same way when they bought it, they don't take them out of the special machinery fund, they take them out of the road fund. That makes the road fund look like they're spending more money on the roads, which they weren't, but that's how they were covering it up.
Pat, is there any recourse that we have as far as any oversight or anything?
You don't have any, oversight over the township boards. The township is not a subdivision of the county, it is its own entity. It's, governed by its board, and its board is the trustee, the treasurer, and clerk. There are two statutes, there are two sets of laws that you should probably all be familiar with, and those are the Open Records Act and the Open Meetings Act. Open Records Act, whether or not he would give you the original of those documents, under the Open Records Act, you ought to be able to get a copy of them by making a request for them.
We've been trying and it doesn't happen.
Okay, well,
Been doing
there's a
the
procedure.
last meeting,
Okay.
that's the 4/14, you had to set up for 3 different days.
There's a procedure under the Open Records Act. If someone doesn't comply and give you the records that you request, that you can file a lawsuit in the district court. And if you're successful at that, the court is supposed to order the public entity to pay their fees and expenses in getting records. They're somewhat uncommon. I don't know that one's been filed in Atchison County ever. I'm not saying that there's never been one, because if there was one in 1972, I'm not trying to hide anything. And then the Open Meetings Act, the commission of the board of three cannot, any two members of that board cannot meet and discuss the business of the township except in an open and public meeting.
No.
That one's already been done.
Yeah, Joe didn't even go to the meetings the first 2.5 years he was on.
Well, that's,
He admitted that.
that's fine, if he doesn't go to the meetings, that's fine, if there were.
He got paid.
If there was still a quorum at, well, that's up to the board to determine whether or not he should get paid. But if there was, they can't have, I guess what I'm getting at is if they're going to discuss matters, they have to do it in an open meeting.
And the open meeting, of course, Kathy, as a member of the board, you'd be entitled to notice.
Okay.
And any of the rest of you that would notify really any member of the commission that you want notice of any special meetings would also be entitled to notice the meeting. So that would be a good idea to request well, to be safe probably of all three, that you would give a notice of any meetings and the opportunity to attend. They have to be public. They can have them in somebody's house. I understand that happens with townships, but if they have it in somebody's house, if somebody shows up, they're allowed to come into the meeting. They can't have the meeting behind closed doors. So
what was the open records request sent? How was it sent, and so it's been given to Bruce?
We have not actually sent a letter, but we went 5 meetings in a row asking for certain stuff. We're told that they will bring it to the next meeting. They come to the next meeting and Bruce brings nothing.
I forgot. That's what we were told.
That's why I had to do it. And I thought he was being sincere, and maybe he is, maybe, I don't know him well enough, but just from what I do know, maybe he thought there was something on it, but there's not.
I do recommend that anytime that people are requesting, showing up for meetings, document it. Yes, okay, you are good. Good.
So basically, there's not much that you guys as the commissioners can do.
It sounds like a very interesting situation. I know statutes do allow board to audit themselves. Not that I agree that's a very good standard business or accounting practice by any means. I think it was a good first step to get an audit, an external audit, it sounds like in this case. I'm not sure what the results will be. I would assume they probably have results.
I can go back to Kramer, I can give him what I can give him, and that's pretty much it.
You can't give him the book if you won't turn them over.
I mean, maybe I can get, I don't know.
And if you notice, in the memo, lots of times he doesn't write what something's for.
Yeah.
The first thing the auditor's gonna want is receipts, and he's not gonna turn them over, I guarantee you.
I don't know if he can.
Those would be open records that you'd be entitled to the original, or to a copy at least. How many of you want a copy of a form approved by the Attorney General for open records requests?
How many bucks, or, we all do.
Yeah. Does everybody need one, or just?
We could share, we could probably share. 10, I don't care.
Yeah, we just have to sign it or something. I don't understand, how can somebody have that much power, Jeff? If I run, when his term's up, you mean to tell me I can run, I can take this township over, I can write my dad a $100,000 check, you can't do nothing about it? Because I'm running. Yeah. My dad loves to cut trees.
Well, and Jeff, late at night. Jeff, I should tell you that on all the paperwork, he has actually renamed the cemeteries. The cemeteries don't actually have a name on the paperwork we get from the courthouse up here. Their name, his grandkids' names. But his grandkids don't mow the cemeteries, he does.
And the check is made out to them living in Oklahoma or someplace else?
No, Alabama. And Bonganoxie.
Yeah.
And they're about this big.
I got a call in to Jerry Copeland. I want to talk to him about his check writing practices.
And I questioned him on, it was actually on these checks that he claims were for cutting trees out of cemeteries, but somebody messed up and put audit on there. And I asked him who David Lowe was, because he uses so many different names. Well, I don't know. And I says, well, is it you? Is it Bruce? Is it your son or what? I don't know. So I asked him, I says, well, you can't seem to remember anything. Do you have Alzheimer's or something? And he goes, well, I sure could have. See, he gets smart about it. He won't answer the questions.
That's just like not clearing that road down there, Jeff. I mean, this has been going on forever, and Marlax writes the road. I don't know whether they called and asked them or what, but they got to clean that road out. And they've already done that. They haven't owned that property for a year.
That's after we had the lawsuit against them.
You say you have pursued a lawsuit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
that-
taking care of the road and.
Harold Oliver
Yeah.
kept it. And Harold Oliver helped get him on there. When Harold died, everybody started leaning towards Bruce, and then somewhere down they got Joe elected, and this man went sour. And I mean, he's sour against people, and asked, like 10 people, and I've even asked for it too, and he got smart with me and told me he's gonna close the road, and just, I mean, the man's attitude, I don't know what's wrong with him. He's
Well,
changed.
that's one thing, but the biggest issue here, I think,
We need to
is,
stop with him bad.
Well,
The
yeah,
money.
but when you're sitting there with that kind of money, and he refuses to put a tube in, or like one of the neighbors over on the blacktop, she's a widow, she asked him if they could get the road graded by where she owns some property. And he told her no. He said, that Andy Service tears that road up going into the property he has. Well, yeah, you gotta go to your gate somehow. It's not his fault, but he's not tearing it up. It's the kids that are going out and mudding in the
He
four-wheel.
probably pays $500 a year tax in his county, you know, and just kind of makes sore, you know, that, I hear it,
No, but-
I mean, those aren't the right
yeah, but
answers.
just give up on it. The biggest concern is the man is trying to write out checks, and he can't write them out for the right amounts and everything. That is a big issue, I think. You know, I mean, I think that is the biggest of all of
Let's
them.
hope to
that,
find out
you know.
something up here, maybe to help her out.
But you know,
I don't think he's got nothing yet.
I think the $4,000 check that he has written to some of his relations, and that should be an issue to that.
Well, yeah, when he pays his son-in-law and his wife for auditing the books and himself.
I mean, really, I don't understand how somebody in charge of a township like that can have that much control over the money and everything, and nobody can do anything about
We
it.
studied Kansas laws and statutes, there's a lot of stuff that goes back
It kind of
to
sucks, though.
the beginning of time, and townships are another unit structure that have their own I mean, I've seen the statutes on townships specifically, they do have authority, the board has authority to audit their own books, not, and like I said before, it's not a good business practice or
Right.
accounting standard. If you talk to any CPA, they're probably gonna tell you, no, it's probably not a good standard practice. So my question here is, you know, our counselors given advice on Open Records Act and Open Meetings Act. You're having concern with the Mr. Lowe. I mean, what do you want, I mean, what, outside of what we've discussed, what do you want the commission to look into? I mean, is there guidance that you need on?
Why don't you guys request to see the books and see what he says?
We don't have the authority.
You don't have the authority to do it?
Any
Yeah.
individual.
We can request it, I mean.
I could certainly, we could try and see what.
You'll see what he gives you,
Yes.
you know? Tell me you had a lot of complaints, and you wanna see the books.
Okay. Yeah, we probably need to make that open records request.
There's no question that the township owns the records even of prior boards, so that's the statute. Makes clear the township owns those records.
I have no question, but the avenue to pursue this is through the Open Records Act. Now, we'll try to assist you any way we can, you know.
That's fine, I'll set my rule.
So is this Open
You guys
Records?
can't do anything, I'll just turn it over to him, let him do it.
Is this Open Records Act, is that the one you actually fill out, give to the sheriff, and have them deliver
No.
to? No.
You can fill out, keep a copy, but either deliver or mail it to them. I probably sent a return receipt requested. You could have a sheriff serve it, I think they would charge you
That's okay.
to do it, but,
At least you knew it, yeah.
but you'd have proof that it was
Yeah,
delivered.
besides yourself, yeah. But that's what this is, to do it that
And
way.
then I think they have 3 or 5 days under the act to acknowledge receipt.
I think it's 3 business days.
I think it's 3 business days. Thank you, Paul.
To respond or?
No, to acknowledge that they have it, and then general findings after that to produce the records or explain why they need longer than that to produce them, so.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and file Kansas Open Records request to Mount Pleasant Township trustees.
Okay, for which record?
Well, trustee, he's the treasurer.
Well, I think.
Well, trustee,
Board.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the board.
I apologize, the board.
Which records, just, checkbook ledger, or?
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna need 2014
Mhm.
financial data. I'm not sure what else CPA needs, but
13 and 14.
13 and 14 fiscal records include.
Yeah, but I think we would even like to know what's been transpiring even since the first
Yeah,
year.
even go for the 15 up to date.
Yeah.
What would the clerk have?
No, he
No.
doesn't give her anything.
They won't work with her.
So at these meetings that you have,
What she writes down
When I write down
is
is
what
I
she
have.
gets.
And when I sign a check, I make sure I know who it's for, who it goes to, what it's for, I write it in here. I've seen a few bills, I tried to get Jody the other night when he was doing them, so I could figure and make sure it went right, because I knew he messed them on that before. But he doesn't, he throws them in his briefcase, he signs them all while we're having meetings. When they're discussing these issues, he's hiding.
Behind the
So Joe lays down the briefcase, and I think sometimes, I don't know, it just goes over Bruce's head. I don't know if he just don't wanna give it, or he just don't get all this. But he already says, you guys think you're gonna get rid of me, it's not happening. Like, okay.
That's his attitude.
I have, what, another year and a half with him?
A lot of counties do too, though. A lot of counties.
Ed said that he's been there when he was on there, they had set for
They
everything.
had 3.
Yeah, they have two, but in other words, it's kinda like the clerk treasurer down here.
yeah.
You got, you have.
Well, he had,
I feel like the clerk and the treasurer would have two.
Well, but all Bruce does is he writes the checks. And then that is what goes into the computer, is whoever names the check made out to and for the amount. For employees that have taxes withheld, that's nowhere.
Yeah.
So she's supposed to
I was supposed to
pay
do
the
that in
state of
April.
Kansas, and
I don't
she
know.
has no figures to use to pay the state of Kansas the
Yeah.
end of April, for
That's all
January,
I got.
February, March.
So I-
He held the money out of the check.
I don't know her, but I don't know what he has for me, I don't know what to put. And I asked you more about it.
It's hard to start the second set of books and you don't know at the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
That's it, it's just like a really.
Well, and when you get the records, we can show you, I went through them completely, and they've actually got some figures juggled. Unless you know what's going on, you're not gonna figure it out. But I got it figured out, because the numbers rang in my head when I knew what I was off. They just changed them, it doesn't show anywhere where they changed them, but they changed them, so none of them match up on the
I think
papers
that's
that they turn in up
what they're
here.
hoping the audit will fix, but can't get any information to get the audit going.
I mean, just to get them cleaned up and find out where it's at and what it's going to. Maybe he's concerned about that.
Well, we'll file a open records request to them as well for those documents. And then, if they don't receive any acknowledgement within 3 days, the next step for them would be to,
Well, or if we're gonna do it, the next step would be to file a lawsuit to compel it.
We need to do something.
yeah,
I appreciate it, you guys are, we're gonna do something like it. We've gotta go somewhere here with this man.
I'll give us an idea where it goes, so thanks for your time, absolutely.
thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Well, geez,
Yeah, you,
Nice to meet you.
Chad, but thank you.
if I can get out of here quicker than I got up there. He's still the court that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's my important too.
Good, I don't wanna have to walk home.
How you been, all right? Good work. Boys in Manhattan, they got 4 inches cars rolling down the street, Maggie.
Really?
Said they were canoeing last night. I don't think they even knew drinking.
No, I didn't say they had. Didn't think of your run. Said, get canoe, let's go. Well, just water's, I think water would be a missed opportunity. My son is going there in the fall.
agenda? I mean,
Uh,
who requested it?
I requested to be put on the agenda. I requested just to have a discussion there with personnel. We've got, Wes Lanner, we've also got Chad here as well, California Realty's here. So I just wanted to get some more further discussion. I wish Bill was here. I'm not sure when Bill will be back. But, just wanted to, open the floor, had some more questions, for people, as far as, proceeding with facility location. So, Chad, I don't think you were here last week.
No, I believe it was.
Okay.
No, he was not here, when we had the vote.
No, I wasn't here, was for the vote. You had called to pull me.
Con was here, right?
Yes, Con was here.
I was here.
Chad himself was not.
Okay. Last week, we took a vote as per 2-1 to, proceed with, purchase of, facilities on a 10-443 property. And, just want to open up, get some discussion, get some feedback from people. There's been a little bit of concern on proximity of facility, to runs to key areas in the city of Atchison, which I expressed concerns about last week, and want to get a little more input. I know you're on the EMS facility as far as those runs, and maybe get a little feedback from first responders. I know 80% of the runs are done annually, in city limits of Atchison. I know 90% are done in the Eastern District. As far as additional run times, it looked like on those, I think there were 9. You had a list.
Right, we had a list of 9 different locations, and the ones that were significantly different would have been Benedictine College and Senior Village, and those were the 2. The other ones, like Mall Towers, was additional minute response. Medical Lodge was the same, and it also, but other than that, the courthouse was about the same also, I believe.
And you were talking about ambulance arrival?
Our ambulance arrival from the stations in non-inclement weather, but no obstructions, not during school time, just an average response time in the middle of the night and so forth.
Okay, just to make it clear, we're talking about ambulance arrival, not EMS.
No, we're not talking about first responder arrival, because that time's not going to change at all. First response arrival isn't going to change at all. We're only talking about transporting ambulance arrival times. Those would be slightly elevated in the northern part of the city. It would be, again, decreased in the lowest part of the city and to the whole western county area. Other than that, since last week, and I've heard about, since we spoke last about the response times, I have done some additional research, and nationwide shows that there's a lot of discussion going on over the last 5 years about response times and how they outcome of patient care. And so what they've found so far is that response times over 8 minutes does cause problems, not significant, but enough time to statistically there is a slight change over 8 minutes, but other than 8 minutes, the time is not significant. And like Colin spoke with a couple weeks ago, what he spoke about was those key points of the response times are mostly key in that 1% of the calls, such as cardiac arrest. And what we've done in the last 6 months is work with community education to increase the CPR in the community. So that's the key. The first responder getting there and starting CPR, the bystander starting in those cases, that's when the first response, that's when the time of arrival is important. Okay, so you're saying that that is the correlation between arrival of EMTs, but not the ambulance? Actually, it's not corresponding to the ambulance arrival time at all. It's a patient outcome. Patient outcome is greatly increased when EMTs? Not even EMTs, lay people. When CPR, in those 1% of the calls, when CPR is started and right away cardiac arrest. That is the biggest survival that's the biggest determining factor in survivability from patients who collapses to out of the hospital. What I'm saying is also that the response times from the research I've found from 2012, 2007, 2004, when they did these studies, was that the response times greater than 8 minutes has a very, has a, you can track it with the data, but it's not significant. It's like a 1% change in patient outcome. Whereas under 8 minutes, there is no factor, because what they're talking about nationwide is going from a lot of bigger cities are going to a 911 where they used to run rising sirens every single call out there and save that 1 or 2 minutes. What they're finding on these studies, not because of station location, but studies are done so that is it safer to drive non-emergent and so forth, and what they're finding it is. So what they're doing is limiting the response times. And that's kind of where I got the information from. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I mean, I find no correlation between moving the ambulance service to the new facility and their arrival on scene.
No, there is none. I would say, yeah, there is no correlation between patient care. The difference is initial care. Now, the initial care isn't going to change at all because the first responders are already beating us to those scenes most of the time anyway, in that because they're right centrally located and they're getting there, starting the care and handing it off to us, and we're transporting. It's not most of the time, but they're there. So the first responders get in and start the care. So it's a team effort. There is no really going to be a delay in care.
Because I've been bombarded with people that saying that moving the ambulance service to the new location is going to decrease service and be critical to care.
I don't see how it would be. I don't see how it would be at all. Yeah.
What's your average response times?
Average response times right now, depending if it's in the city or out of the county, average response time in any city limits is around 6 minutes.
Where they're at now or where the new facility is, it's not going to change anything. Because they're both on the western side of the county, western side of the city, and they respond out in the county. If they were trying to go north of Ashton and there was a train, yeah, that would delay. They'd have to go over the 14th Street Viaduct and straight up to Division. But they have that problem now. If the call is south of there and there's a train, they have to go over the 14th Street Viaduct to the south.
Basically the same problem in reverse.
Basically, for rescue, it's either way. It shouldn't matter either way. There are more accidents on South 73, so this will aid in their response to that. For some reason, South 73 is just the accident place for our county. That's where most of the car accidents are. So it will aid in there. It's not a train, and 59, South 59, those are the two that have the accidents. For some reason, 87 and North 73 don't. I mean, they do have accidents, but not near the number. So it will aid rescue in that instance. Flood management, doesn't matter where we're at.
And as far as his, for example, technique is concerned, where the station is, the only thing that we care about is it going to hinder patient care? If it's going to make a negative impact on our patients and the community, then we don't want to do it.
Absolutely.
And so there's so far they're all behind it on this. This is what you folks want to do. We're with it. Wherever you put us is fine. We'll work it out. But if it hinders patient care, we're going to speak up and talk against it. And this isn't one of those times. So we don't see any issue.
Okay, I don't see that as any different than what the discussion we had.
Yes, and I'll say it again. First, sorry, let me say something. I'll say it again. Yes, this facility is older, and yes, we're going to put some money into it to make it what we need. And that is estimated to be around $205,000 to build a new structure, a new facility in the city. I don't know what that would cost. I'm assuming it would cost more than $205,000.
Well, that's the other thing. Roger Denton and Joe Bowen were up here earlier, and they said it's roughly about $50 a square foot to remodel stuff. I don't know what's the square footage of the facility we're talking about.
Yeah, but we're not remodeling that facility. We can't.
I'm just going off. They just had indicated this morning.
Chris, I agree with that 50,000 because that's what we were doing out the rescue build, rescue/recycle when that was an option. You're not remodeling the building you're looking at.
Yes.
But it's doors.
What was it? The cost estimate on the, was it?
Room 50 to 80,000 range to do.
Well, the price for the building was $155.
155.
And I think our total estimate was 210
Somewhere around there.
versus, I understand that the remodel of the recycling building was $550,000 alone for the.
520, 530, but yeah.
Yeah, it was over 500,000.
Yep.
Okay.
And we rejected that.
And that was for a facility we already owned.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah, ideally it would be to locate in a facility, or, you know, with that acquisition of property would be ideal.
And that was one of the things about this property, I think, that initially we looked at was not just location. I mean, we would prefer being a little closer. It happened to be out of the city, but we don't think we want to limit ourselves on a possibility when you have a good property or a property that can be made whole or made to work, and especially with the cost assessments that we were presented, when you can get into it for half, and I know you just don't automatically put a number when you're talking about people's health, but if you can't talk about healthcare without putting a number to it in this day and age. I mean, that's ludicrous. So, it is a savings, and I think any time length was negligible that we were presented as far as runtimes.
I guess my biggest concern is I think the whole expenditure to be avoided 100%. We were having conversations with your predecessor about consolidating our fire service and your EMS service. We have capacity at our fire station. Our fire station is centrally located, would not require $1 of remodel, and I think we should have had a larger conversation on the direction we want to take this community on what that service looks like. I don't know, I drove by the facility. It could make a perfectly good public workshop if you guys want to keep it out that way, but I think we need to have a larger conversation about the future of what we're doing with our services. I think there's a way to save dollars, significant dollars. You guys are spending close to $700,000 a year in a contract, plus the cost of vehicles.
Save about
$800,000 a year. I mean, that's a huge impact to your budget. I'm not saying that, you know, we can do it for no cost, but I think there could be costs realized to the county by looking at a potential merger. And that's my biggest concern, is this purchase takes off, the chance of that merger. We had preliminary talks with Mike before he went off the commission, and so I guess I just look at this as another, yes, it could be a penny wise but pound foolish move by saving the money over the $500,000. I didn't think that was a great idea when the county was looking at that then, but I really think we need to look systematically at our emergency services. I think there's a chance for consolidation there, and I think consolidation can result in less spending for our citizens. If you go back and look at what we were doing in '95, it was a fraction of what we're paying now, especially compared to what, I think our fire department's gone up $700,000, or gone up $400,000 in that time period. Cost of EMS has quadrupled in that time period, what you guys are paying from what we were paying back then. So I guess I wish this had been done a little. Did you guys have money in your budget this year for the EMS facility?
No, this would be strictly out of capital general improvement funds.
Okay. I mean, because that's why I was kind of off guard. I didn't even know that this was going on, especially since Mike and I hadn't had this conversation. I thought everything was kind of put on the back burner. Hey, let's have some really deep conversations about what we can do about merging our two services and create cost savings for our customers, our citizens who are your citizens too. We are all county residents. Not all county residents are city residents, but we would like to find ways to save dollars.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I think we're all looking to try and, reduce our tax base, still provide adequate services. Some services we're required to provide, obviously, EMS and ambulance services for indigent people, by statute. It would be great to have more conversations, having to make a decision, off the cuff and look at 2 or 3 different options.
Again, we talked about this facility for weeks, and none of this was brought up to me. And I talked with my predecessor for 3.5 hours Sunday night, and he didn't indicate that there was any imminent discussions of merging with, and I think that, and this purchase was brought up then, and he didn't indicate that there was anything in the works. And there was nothing brought up here, so it's kind of retroactive. I mean, if it wasn't presented to me in the discussion in the 2 weeks that we had, it's kind of the cart after the horse to bring this up now after we've acted.
I mean, I didn't find out about the purchase till last Wednesday after you guys had made the purchase, so, I mean, your counselor informed me last Wednesday after you guys had made the purchase, and my reaction was kind of, whoa, what happened? I kind of felt like my knees were cut out from underneath me, because, we'd had conversations, and...
I know the feeling. See, I didn't even know until Saturday that we ordered a building inspection.
Yeah, most rational people inspect buildings before they purchase them, so.
And those boards run it before the board before they proceed with it.
Okay. Noted, Commissioner Noel. Let's focus on our discussion here.
I think we are.
I think we probably, if there's a way to hold off on this decision, obviously it's been voted on 2-1, I think, the best interest of our citizens, I think we need to have more discussions, and we have some possibilities of maybe some bigger savings, some more efficiencies, possibly with the Ashland Fire Department that we should look at, that would give us more time to discuss, and I really would like to have Bill Pohl back for these discussions. I don't know when his time frame is on coming back, or, how he will be up to speed. I guess I really would like to have him back here for further discussion before we proceed on this.
I really haven't heard anything here that's changed my mind on the facility at hand that's been voted on. I guess we do have until, when is the closing date? 21st? 28th.
Pat, is there any way to delay this until Commissioner Pohl gets back and we can discuss further?
After a resolution memorializing the purchase path.
I think you probably will have a discussion in executive session during my privilege about that.
I was just asking if a resolution has been passed authorizing you to close on the facility.
As is reported in the minutes, there was a vote of 2-1 to execute a contract to purchase property, and that's what, and the contract was executed.
The resolution doesn't need to be passed. you guys talk any more about River Road upgrades? I know there had been some willingness in the past. River Road's a road that's not used by city residents, but used heavily by farmers and the quarry out in the county. And I know we had some previous discussion on you guys trying to help us. We don't have the equipment to rehabilitate that road, and just seeing if there is any willingness to do anything there.
We just had, found out a few weeks ago that our paving machine was shot. We just approved purchase literally earlier today for purchase of said machine. We should probably check with their schedule. I know that we had talks with Matt. Matt had that scheduled to do work on that this year at some point. Obviously, Matt's gone. We've got to hire a replacement. Probably have to check with Terry Morgan and Mark Gentry, see what the schedule is. I think we're going to probably, here in the next week, try and get some meetings or interviews scheduled for replacement for Road and Bridge Superintendent to get that all over with.
That is a project you guys are interested in?
Correct. I know we had previous discussions with that.
I haven't been in any discussions, but I'm open to it, so
okay.
I have an opinion yet. I don't. We're talking about north of the mile that was refurbished last year?
South.
Oh, so we're going south?
Yeah.
Well, it's north of town, but it's south of that. It was like 2 or 3 miles.
It's in the city limits, but we just don't have the capability to maintain that area. We don't have the chip and seal stuff like you guys have. So you guys have helped us out with that in the past. So
I don't see any problem with it, but we'll have to see how.
Yeah, their schedule.
It's one of those city roads that's an inherently county road, if that makes sense. It's not a city design standard, it's a county design standard, and we just don't have those capabilities.
We may need some help from your engineer, I don't know if it's possible to get some.
Sure. If you guys need him on another job, let us know too.
Be great.
Thank you for coming.
All right, thanks. See you guys. See you later, Pat. You guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you. How are you? All right. What's up, buddy? Looks like a real Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
I'm done on the way. Oh, boy. There you go.
Yeah, it looks different.
Yeah, it's just tore up. And we expect to be tore up before the answer.
Everything's going up.
We're gonna be homeless in a month. We're gonna be
Yeah.
homeless in a month now.
We gotta try to figure that out too.
Yeah, we've got to act or look on the plans that we're.
Have you talked with Roger and them? Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Get a check from the UAE for, the annual, rebate for the purchase card, but
They don't break it out by the 5-year deployment.
What, the Visa cards?
Yeah, it's like a rebate.
I mean, it's not much, but
Yeah.
I could probably talk to them.
Are they used a lot? I mean,
I just use mine, and I purchase out at Walmart. I don't use, I mean, I just use mine if I purchase something from Walmart.
We're gonna have that around there.
Hotel or something.
mhm.
Now, I think Peggy uses, she has separate ones for like, Atchison Hotel, I mean, I think there's separate, like those cards.
Kinda like
They
one.
have an actual card that,
Like I noticed that looking through the bills, like one was maybe for food and one was for like recreation and training. Almost
she
doesn't
has
go
like
down.
a ghost card. She really doesn't have a card, but she has a number
Hmm.
charge with them.
Yeah.
Hard to split it up, so we don't have to worry about.
I'll ask Pat Miller, who's the UAE.
He has a breakout of that, 'cause I know in the past, that was brought up, we have departments that were upset they didn't get a
we'll review it, but
Let's just drop those.
they said that, because they're not rich ventilators, why do we have to do that? You fluctuate the meetings, and you take a med.
I'll ask him.
You get trained, you talk to.
Won't you just take the conference and conference?
Yeah, conferences.
Tomorrow through Friday.
You have to do your same time in case you get a.
Yeah. Tomorrow through Friday.
Like that time or on time, so I'm gonna take care of kids, so.
It sounds like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember, it's been since yeah.
I guess there's a box of paperwork over here when Chase was back in.
Okay.
And I think there's some more over here. You want it, you take it, you want it.
Did you ever watch the Brady Bunch or Joey?
Yeah, I thought, look at the agenda.
That's all we really have.
Chase, look, you know the agenda?
We don't have.
Yeah, they're the, look how you said, they're the, they have like a change and like a rebate or.
Chase just kind of shows up.
Okay.
I never know.
It's been a while since you've been here.
We probably need to start going through stuff, I'll figure out what's going on, what we need
I
to
have.
keep and what.
Oh, what's gone?
No, that's coming back.
There's one specific for an emergency operation plan. The real big stuff.
I think the black ones are the newest ones, aren't they?
But we've got 4 different.
Oh, those older ones?
Just have him take them and then you can ditch them and go through them and.
These are all throwaways.
I took these ones for the, any of the, multi-county health and everything.
Timeline, I'm trying to get stuff.
And,
I just trying to go through it.
Okay.
We started doing some stuff, we're gonna start patching and, patching holes and things like that, painting, before or next week, or late this week, we can, so, as far as not being able to have a meeting here, that's not necessarily an issue, as long as you put up with the minutes, but, the biggest thing would be like, what can we move for you? And where can we move it to?
I gotta go through this. I'm gonna take it downstairs, put it in boxes and look at it.
We can haul, Dirk can put it on the dolly and take it down there, whatever you want, like that filing cabinet or anything, whatever you want down there, we can haul it down, so.
when we came back for lunch there, I didn't know that there was tables back there that they were trying to get out of there. There's a 4x8 table that looks like it would work when Roger's planning for the new commission room, they put a big table in front of the desk, commissioner's desk for the counselor and following.
Oh, to use that.
It's an old table, but I think
It's the one that they had it back there on the top.
The glass top, the one with the glass top.
No, it's a wood.
Well,
Well,
it
glass
has
on
glass,
top.
but something from glass on it.
Oh, yeah. That would be neat to stick out in the front.
Yeah, about 8 foot, so I'm sure there'd be plenty of room for 4 chairs, 5 chairs, really, to put one on the.
How do you figure out, it almost looks like in the drawing, almost like that with the commissioner. How did?
I never did see that.
Maybe that was the act for the, maybe that was for the lights.
Hey, glass.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, that was just kind of,
Lights or something.
that was lights.
The heating, cooling.
So I can give you some rest and you can,
What are you talking about?
can I give them to you?
Yes.
These old ones?
Do we need those old emergency?
They have to be in the commission room.
The old ones?
No, the 3 black ones.
Yes, I need the black ones or the blue ones.
And I don't want them.
Recycle.
And Paul, you don't want, if you know it's gonna be recycled, leave it there, like in a pile, and we'll take care of that part of it.
Yeah, just the black ones, those old ones are
Where do you
trash.
want it, over there?
Yeah, where do you want
You
it?
can leave it
Where
right,
do you want me to put the pile and how do you want me to lay
you
it?
tell me where you're gonna put the pile, and we'll take it.
Where do you want me to put?
I do.
We need to be the one, IT needs to be the one with that printer and that.
We won't touch on any of that.
Okay.
So we got to stack them right in front of the desk here on the floor, and then that
No.
way it would be.
Well, how about if I put them, which way will he go out, this way or this way?
We'll probably put it on the elevator, take it down to the
Oh,
shelf,
I'll put it over that way? Okay. I
Yeah.
can put it over,
or just put a note on top so we know what all it is.
okay. Here's some books on the Memorial Hall revitalization.
Do you want one?
Okay.
Okay, it's just a history buff. I'm gonna go down and if Roger's still here, I'm gonna say something to him so he can come up and look at that table and see if it would.
Yeah, that's good, it's a nice one.
It's a heavy, it's a substantial table that would.
I don't know if the legs broke off or if they started taking it apart, I don't know.
It's broken, but it could be clamped and glued. It's not really broke, it's just broke loose and needs to be,
It came from the office, the mount.
No, conference thing?
No, it's practically what they tore down.
They had an auction and they, sister sold. They was only $100.
but that's, you know, we're looking at cost savings anywhere we can on this move, so I don't know what we're gonna do for desks yet, but I think I would take care of that, fit the bill really well. I didn't even know that there was anything, I've never been in the room before, so.
That was a jury room, isn't that what we technically call it?
There was some stuff right there in the corner there was all in that room, and it's stuff from Chase, when Chase was in there, I think.
Yeah,
So,
Pauline said she had bunches of stuff.
See, and I don't know, this 4120 scanner is no good anymore, is it? Left.
No, you can't use those anymore. I have a box of them. That's the opposite.
Right there you go.
That we're gonna recycle. I'll come get it and get all of it.
But the rest of this is just so,
Yep.
email him and find him and get it.
Yeah, I just emailed him, see if he wants it.
This one and the other one?
Yeah. So we probably definitely need to start getting it.
So,
I will take them and put that where you want.
We need to
if
get it
you put them over
either.
there, then he can cycle. I don't want to.
The black ones are the important ones, those are the ones that we adopted.
Well, I can't get this other one.
So they need, as we float around to our new, between our homelessness, we need to have them with us, or?
No, we could go throw them in the vault downstairs where computers are temporarily.
Okay.
But, so that's
We need 3 of them? We need-
one per commissioner.
isn't it a digital copy suffice, or?
And I'll talk with, Judge Bedner and Judge Asher about the, small, that the task force commission's going to they knew we were gonna move this early on and said that they could work with us and let us use it.
Yeah, I remember hearing that, you know, we don't know how far out that maybe they scheduled things, so we need to let them know soon on that, because we know that we're gonna be homeless for, lack of a better term, for, I'd say a month anyhow.
Yeah.
So where are you gonna try and have meetings? Did I miss all that?
I'll contact, Judge Asher, Judge Bedner about using the small courtroom. We've used it in the past a few times, and they had indicated we temporarily, they weren't, obviously interested in full-time being used as commissioner, but they said part-time, you know, temporarily, they said that early on. I know when we met with the judges, they said, you know, we can accommodate temporarily, you know, not long-term, but.
Typically, I mean, I shouldn't speak for them, but the afternoons should typically be open. The mornings may have like a quick hearing in them, usually at 9 o'clock, but I don't ever see much else besides that on Tuesdays over there in the afternoons. Unless there's a jury trial, maybe the one law stuff. Not very often that happens.
Yeah, we're gonna be going through the budget process later in there, so we're gonna be crowded.
Yeah, hopefully figure out something pretty soon.
Did you decide to move any officers prematurely to start construction on those other ones earlier, like
We talked a little bit about that this morning.
Now, this morning, last week, we discussed about, and Pauline wasn't here, I don't know, did she bring up, could there be a possibility that we could put Courtney in your room very temporarily while we were moving offices? And is there an empty desk that could be utilized?
Yeah, there's an empty desk.
I mean,
All depends on if Vicki has problems that can eliminate it.
Well, he's kind of tweaked our internet, so we don't have that issue much anymore.
I hope you don't have that.
Yeah.
I've got stuff, I mean, I got my valves and stuff, but some is busy downstairs, so this is just time to pick them up.
it was just brought up as a possibility, we don't know yet, you know, and I even brought this up to Courtney and kind of warned her that remote possibility, but if we could put her in there so we could be doing work simultaneously on different, you know, so we don't have to domino, one has to be done to move an office, so that'd be two fronts that we could work on at the same time.
Other than files, I don't have room for any.
I think she indicated that she just needs desk and computer space, and that would be fine, but
Right, hazard files, probably of all.
There's 5 filing cabinets, that need to stay behind a locked door.
So if we put those in that wall.
We can ask
No.
the courts if that would be, the best way would be to ask the court
Okay.
decides, okay, but yes.
Okay.
As long as they say yes, we could put them in there along next to the service temporarily.
Yeah, it's stress temporary, this is
Yeah.
not, this is like a moving sale, you've got to make room for one of them to make way for the other.
Yep. So who, is our maintenance gonna be able to do all the work, or are we?
No, at least this morning, it wasn't indicated they'd be able to do work. I mean, they gave Roger and Joe, gave an estimate. Now, some of it is, a lot of it's HVAC, heating and cooling, you know, on that side, plus the south side as well. I mean, roughly, $82,030 is their estimated cost on it. A good, 46,000 of that is HVAC.
Air conditioning outside the building?
The air conditioning and heat, the three, would be the new commission room, Michelle's, and the appraiser's office, and then the HR office, and then the registered deeds office across the hall. I believe is what they do.
I thought you were gonna wait on that.
Well,
I'm just saying that's preliminary, that's what the,
that was the
We've
proposal.
already
that's
got
a
something
proposed
in there, right?
estimate.
You and the treasurer do?
If we got written up by Eric, or air conditioner was too loud,
There it is.
period.
So that's the biggest chunk of
Every
that.
office.
That would be the biggest estimated chunk.
It's still loud, it's not as quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of hate piecemealing these systems together.
Yeah.
I would, if we could hold off on that, get a plan and do the whole thing, possibly we could come into some money, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, I mean,
And,
I agree with you on the HVAC systems, and I've been concerned about that, it's just a temporary step to, that's why I asked him this morning if that was, if that's a fix he's talking about, he should have said no.
right, I mean, I'm not opposed to going with air conditioning system. I'm not thrilled about this option because it's kind of like piecemealing them together, and then you've got all these different systems, you've got all this different maintenance, it's a scab, and
Because he said the boiler has to be replaced, so.
Yeah, the boiler, we've got concerns about the upstairs, the second floor, I mean, Joe talked about one massive system for the whole work pipe or whatever he calls it. I know it's not cheap.
yeah, and as painful as it would be, I mean, I would have to look further into that before I would agree to this, and if something's gonna have to be budgeted, it's,
Yeah, if we could get through summer with having to do that, we could come up with some temporary solutions or something like that.
that's the reason I was trying to find some way of
Heating,
doing
cooling, going through the summer.
Michelle's office.
There you go, window unit, so what is the issue?
The only concern was Michelle. We could probably do that for everything except for maybe
Michelle's office, because they're gonna put a wall in and she was requesting a door now for security, and she's gone there, you know, think, well, that's what's changed. So, if you have that in there, there's no way of getting any air.
Is she requesting the accordion door that I gave her a suggestion of, or a wall and a real door?
they were talking about a real door, I thought, this morning.
He was talking about a real door, I kept talking about a pocket door, and he don't know if that's feasible, or if that would be okay, but to me, that way she would have a way of securing when she left. That he said it's gotta be checked for your pull weight for your accessible, or your wheelchair accessible, ADA laws and everything, so he don't know anything about it, he's checking into that.
Can they not do the above ceiling
of piggyback it off of another system.
All it is a little 12-volt fan and a conduit that would suck air out of the Jim Lindy's office and shove it above the ceiling.
If that would be
You
a
can conduit down into her.
temporary, so we can get something.
A temporary, yeah.
I think that would be.
It'd be less expensive.
That's what we did out at the end.
Maybe same way with the other office too.
See, my suggestion in this case was if we could do a pocket door so where she could leave that open when she's there and put an air conditioning on the east window that's in the hallway. So that could be to clear out. This is a temporary, this is a scab, but to get it far enough that we could possibly do a full system. Again, we're so many options and things to look at that.
Contact with the Department of Revenue, because we already have a contract with them.
For the tax credits?
No,
For
driver's license.
That
Joe
was
had-
this morning.
Yeah, Joe had said, they talked with Shannon, and Shannon said that it'd be, approval to, I don't know, Cador, I thought it was somebody else.
Department of Revenue has driver's license.
Was it Cador? Okay, I wasn't sure if that was.
I mean, we do have an agreement.
KDOT, well, they said KDOT needed to approve.
Okay,
But they-
Department of Transportation.
That's what maybe they used like KDOR. They told us this morning KDOT had to approve it, so.
Yeah.
Cador, she's right.
Which, wasn't somebody supposed to have notified them, or she did talk to them?
I thought Joe or Roger had said this morning that she talked to the supervisor, but hadn't contacted
The county has
KDOT.
never contacted Kate. We have never contacted the state. Is that what it is?
Okay, yeah, I don't think it's been an official request, put it that way. I think maybe they were advised, but not, it was an unofficial request, or,
We should probably get that ball rolling too,
Yeah.
how everything takes.
we'd have to send them.
Because in the agreement, it tells how much they.
Yeah, they need, and I know they're gonna have to, move recording equipment, I think, is that right?
Say again?
I think they would have to move some recording equipment.
Which I told them we would help
And
them do.
cameras, they have cameras in there.
Yeah.
Recording.
They have 2 or 3 cameras. Two cameras that record all transactions that happen in that.
Oh.
And then it saves to a server in their room, and then if.
Okay, I thought you were talking about audio recorders.
No.
Oh, no.
Video surveillance.
Yeah.
Video surveillance, and then if
Okay.
need be, they can use our internet to send it down to the state. They don't, because that would use a lot of our bandwidth, but if they needed to, they could.
Okay, yeah. Who would do that?
I told them we would assist them. We would assist in moving it over there
But actually,
with,
Probably technically, yeah.
Shannon.
Yeah, but we're talking about like getting a hold of KDOR or KDOT.
yeah,
I would probably ask her who was in charge of.
well, Pauline said Pat should probably make the official request.
Correct, I would just ask Shannon who that would be,
Okay.
so you're not.
She probably would know. She would probably have the contact.
She'll be there tomorrow.
Yep. I mean, because with moving them, we'll have to move their phone line and their team line and all that, so it's not a major deal.
Yeah. We got Peggy here, it's scheduled for 3, so we're gonna move on to her.
It's all right, they were here first, they.
We were here for
Oh, okay, all right.
You're up.
Okay, I don't have a lot, I do have a purchase order, but, just the update, we're right on track with budget, so, although this morning I danced a little bit because it looks like I was $85,000 short, just hasn't been posted yet. It's posted on our end, ours didn't match the IC, so I understand, but I didn't even have any fun with that $85,000. It would be nice to go somewhere or do something if it was gonna disappear. So we're on track, running expenses. We had our nursing home survey, and for the week, when we do that, or 2 weeks, and put in the plan of correction, we're all good, nothing was horrible, a lot of minor things. They have to find something.
Is it always done in the spring?
It's done, they're required to do it at least every 15 months. They're supposed to be on a year cycle, but they have to need it every 15 months, so there's a window. So, from 9 months to 15 months.
Okay.
So, this will be it for the year unless we get a complaint. But those kinds of things they found, our quality assurance meeting with the medical director, my agenda wasn't saying who was there was not good enough. I had to have proof of who was there, signed in, their signatures. So, never asked for that before, so, I mean, just a little, nothing horribly major, so I was okay with it. They submitted all the stuff, we're good to go, so that's good. Nursing home week is next week, nurses week starts tomorrow, so we'll do some fun things for staff, and that's about it.
Facility fully up, any?
No, we're just still, I'm waiting for Pat to give me that figure on Vanderbilt.
Okay.
Remember how much is in there, so that we can use that up in,
Refresh me, you're using that to, like facility upgrades as far as rooms and stuff?
well, you have to use it in something to improve the quality of life for the residents. So, and it's given to the county for the residents of Senior Village. So, they were asking for new trustees and that sort of thing. So instead of going that route, there's not a lot of money left in it. So we thought we'd just use it for, we talked about lighting, because it's pretty dark in there. We talked about automatic front door. So I've gotten the bids on the lighting, I'm waiting for the front door. Now, one other thing, depending on how much is there, we'll submit a proposal for whatever it is. We'll get that completed soon.
Sounds pretty good.
Okay, all right. So everything's holding up, building looks good.
Are you at capacity, or are you?
Well, we're always up one, down one, and, we're being recorded. Yes. So anyway, so when people pass, there's always a vacancy, and then we go out and assess, and some people we accept, some we don't, depending on circumstances. So I'm down 2 right now. Lisa has assessed 3 people that have been waiting for rooms, and we'll see who we take. I think there'll be one coming in tomorrow. So there's always that state of flux.
Yeah.
With Medicare, you never stay just solid. So, because people are going home all the time.
It'll be a challenge, handling all that.
Yeah, it's just shuffling, and it takes more paperwork time because you're admitting and discharging.
I imagine those admitting papers would be horrible for that.
It takes a very long time to do the admission. Yeah. It's pretty expensive. But it's part of what we do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep it good work.
Anything else? No? Okay.
Oh, budget season, try to get an email letter out the next Tuesday at 2, just a brief, the budget season, just kind of a budget process and that timeline this year, so, real brief, if you're available.
Meeting.
Yes.
We don't have to have my budget.
No, we're not that far.
Informative.
Yeah. We're not that far, it's just informative and.
All right.
I would think so. Maybe she would have been anticipating this, so maybe Courtney's got access to it.
Hey, I emailed Larry again.
I think we
What?
have at least
I emailed
give
Larry.
him a preliminary.
Okay.
Maybe we got a couple of them to try to set up.
Yeah.
For him, and he hasn't responded. I don't know if he's.
I'm assuming that Bill is gonna be back.
So I don't know.
Okay.
So we had that discussion last week
So if we could look at things and
about,
I would feel very comfortable that,
about getting it.
because we're not gonna throw anybody that would even be considered out. I mean,
Yeah,
I'd be year, and I'm sure that you guys take care of it.
Yes, exactly.
I know there's things that we really can't act on,
If there's not,
but
then
this is my fault.
certainly have a project that would.
And we'll have to get time, so when we hired Jamie, we
Yeah, I've gotten
had
to
three panel
other things.
interview process, which worked really good. So we'll have
Together.
people that we want on the technical panel, I think we got the employee panel, that we picked out for that, three commissioners, hopefully three commissioners, and then we'll get the technical panel, which I know we were Kate, public did one. I just saw him Saturday, imagine we'll probably try to get hold of him for that, and then, we'll probably need at least two more, on that technical panel, I can't remember who else we talked about.
Yeah, I have to defer on that because I haven't done any research on, having any experience with that, but, and if Bill can't be here, we may have to see if we can message him and see if he would be okay with, proceeding on some of these issues.
Mm-hmm.
I would feel much better if we had, okay, if he knows he's gonna be out, that you would give us the okay to proceed, I'd feel much better about it.
Yeah.
I hate to do the actual hire without it.
Yeah, that's what would be nice.
I just, the thought, but to try to go through some of the process, the preliminaries, is what we're talking about.
Well, if you get that the nice thing with the three panel process that we did with Jamie, it seemed like, every panel had their own, score, everybody was able to interview, so it seemed like it worked really well, to be honest with you. It seemed like everybody really liked it, so.
So on this panel, do each group then make the recommendation, or does the group as a whole vote on the actual?
They give you feedback and the three of you decide.
Yeah, so
So
everybody has
it's still
questions.
ultimately the three here?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if any power actually was.
No.
Okay.
They, everybody has like their own set of questions that they go through, so like, your technical panel can answer these questions that probably we wouldn't think about, or they would probably know the answers to. And then, you got employee panel, you got commission panel, so everybody kind of rotate applicants, so, if we can get down to 4, maybe 5 tops, then we'd be able to, while your commission's interviewing one, another would be in the technical panel, and another would be in the employee panel, so they just kind of rotate. Last time we did it over morning and afternoon, I think, early afternoon.
Yeah, we had more.
We had a lot more candidates.
We had sandwiches, I remember that.
Yeah, we had a lot more candidates.
I thought that the feedback from the commission was that it was too rushed for you all. You
Yeah.
interviewed everybody, and I don't think you should. I think you should interview the top 3 maybe,
Yeah.
or 4, or whatever. But
Yeah.
you ought to give them an hour interview.
Yeah, I agree with you. Give us a little more time with each person, I think, was what we could do.
Are you saying an hour with each station?
No, well, I think it was about half an hour, wasn't it? But,
An hour to 45 minutes, maybe.
well, let's say there are 6 or 9 applicants. I think if we had 9, we'd probably do 3 panels and have 3 time periods.
Yeah.
And they rotate, but then after that, I think, they would meet with you and you'd pick 2 or 3 to interview. And that interview ought to be a meaningful interview, an hour, at least half an hour,
Yeah.
if not an hour.
I think half hour even pushed us on some of those. We struggled with that on some of them last time.
Yeah, it did.
I'd say probably like 45 minutes to an hour at most. I wouldn't do any more than an hour as a person,
No.
but we're also, if you can slim it down to where it's manageable too, that was probably the hardest part.
So trying to get my head around this, the panels actually kind of picked through the county that we interviewed, or we interviewed with them and then have a major interview after it's slimmed down? I mean, are we part of that day when they're going from?
Yeah, we're part of that day, so we're gonna interview each person. We have our own set of questions, and we interview them, and then, so we get them for about, let's just say 45 minutes to an hour, and then, at that time, then they'll go to, usually it's in the same building, they go to the next committee, they just rotate it, and so for like Pat said, for a set period for so many, that's 45 minutes to an hour, just say it's an hour for each applicant, I guess, that would be the
I could be wrong, but I thought you said that the consensus from the board after the last one was that you didn't want to go through interviewing every single one of them.
Correct, that's correct.
Yeah.
So however, if we've got 7, 8, 9, whatever, we were gonna do that this time to try and slow it down to 4 or 5.
So we're gonna try to slim it down
Before,
say 5,
yeah.
and then, or after, like the top 2 or 3, are we gonna re-interview them, or do we choose?
I thought you guys weren't gonna do any interviewing until they were pared down, but it's whatever you wanna do.
Well, we are gonna do all of them. I think we said the 3-panel process worked. I think it was just that we need to narrow it down. We're not interviewing everybody that applied for the position. I think is what we said, narrow down, and then we just go through the panel process each person. So we would need to pick out a day this month at some point to do that.
I'm not sure if we have a timeline on when Bill will be back.
Well, it sounded to me like he's not in like danger of dying or anything.
It's time consuming, yeah.
Although this morning, I didn't get any indication how long, when you were here, I didn't get any indication how long I thought he might be here. Days, I can't imagine it's going to be there for weeks. I don't think they keep them in the hospital for weeks anymore. Are we? Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. This is a mistake.
Do you have anything for us?
Are we gonna try to not have anything on this yet, or where we're headed, or?
I agree with you on the HVAC. If we could hold off on the HVAC portion, we could come up with some temporary solutions. I think that makes the most, that cuts out the biggest.
I mean, it's a hell of a, not that I'm wanting to spend $1 million.
No.
On HVAC, because we may have to come up with some comprehensive plan with the windows and HVAC.
Probably.
And I figured that's where some of the incoming money, between that and, probably shop, would be where I would park those funds, or designate the majority of those funds.
Putting it in some sort of capital improvement fund that they're used for.
Courthouse, refurbishment, and county shop, county facilities. On, discussion of the county, shop facilities, did you say there was ground procured out there but there was just discussion of it?
Just initial discussions.
Okay.
I don't think we have any contact from them.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, this is just this is from Gilmore Mill for Benedictine College, and Pat did look it over.
Oh, it's for those, ERBs we issued in 2012.
Yeah, the arbitrage has to do with if the money comes in quicker than necessary, if you invest that money, if you make more than what the rate of the bond is, then you have to, that's taxable. And so it's only $327 or something. Yeah, Gilmore Mill did give the opinion that that's the proper amount, they are representatives, so I'm fine. I have no concerns with you signing that.
And so just on signature of issuers, authorized rep.
Yeah.
I think that's probably legal.
We'll leave authorization. Yeah, the motion.
Okay, that's good.
Sorry.
Yeah.
To sign the loan. Arbitrage rebate, yield reduction, and penalty in lieu of arbitrage rebate for educational facility learning bonds issued to Bennington College for 2012.
Also moved.
I'll second that. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We were passed through for Benedictine College under bonds. We've done a couple of times.
I think it's 60. That's all that was in there.
Okay. If we can hold off on the HVAC portion until we get a longer term solution, which I think we probably could if we looked at whatever, what Wes was talking about, that transfer system, we might need another one in the,
That would be acceptable.
HR office, or no, yeah, well, the HR office, we need another one to pull from, because remember that was gonna have to require another unit, because that wall goes through the ceiling, you may need one of those to go from
Just one side.
Higgins' office to that front room, which I think will be pretty.
Yeah, I would think that if it's just a fan, basically to pull that from one to the other, that's probably a quite range fan. Shall I go down and say something to Roger and see if, or who would I need to talk to about that, Roger or
Joe.
Joe?
Yeah, Roger's gone, doctor's office.
Oh, that's right. I'll go down and see if I can,
Yeah.
and I also said I would talk to Michelle about, of course, either, if the pocket door option would work for her office, I think she would be fine with that. And if not, see if she would be acceptable to having like the bookshelf option. With the understanding that we're gonna try to correct this, and then, you know, of course, you know how that goes about the length of time, but, about finding another option about, and possibly though, if we could do that from Randy's office, we could still give her a door and pull that, another jump, I don't know what you call it, a jump system or a piggyback system? I would say a piggyback would be about.
Air transfer or something, I think Wes.
Wes said it's the same thing they have out at the ambulance,
At FEP.
at Effingham.
Okay.
They move air, heat from one room to another.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try to find him and, see if he can at least give us an idea of what, if those systems would work and maybe a cost estimate. And we would need one for Michelle's office and one for HR, correct?
Correct.
What about for the new office in basement? We have not addressed any heating or food in there. That would have to be, I don't know if we could do that across the hall.
I don't know what the temperature control is during like the summer down there.
It's kind of humid, but, and there is, I mean, Tom does have heating, and not heating. They get an air conditioner in his room. You could do the same thing like you're doing for Michelle, you know?
I don't know if you can go to the ceiling.
And who's,
There's no real ceilings down there, those are.
Are they putting in?
they are in the office, but not in the hallway where you're talking about the.
No, I'm talking about where Tom's office.
Tom's office. That's air conditioned?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is.
Probably.
I'm not quite sure. You might have talked to Joe.
The problem is the concrete probably between him and that office.
We may even have that bookshelves too.
But, 'cause they were looking and they thought there used to be a, what do you call that? Like what we have the door and then we have the.
What else, like a window?
Transit window?
Because Joe thought it looked like they painted it or.
In Landy's office there is, I think there's one between him
Yeah,
and.
but downstairs too, he thought that they plastered over it.
If you don't mind, if you're.
Ask her about that,
I will go down and discuss that with him and see if we can come up.
They just had like a fan or something circulate, circulating down there.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine the temperature would be too bad down there. storm windows, or that extra window looks like it's on the inside of that. But those don't look like they've ever been maintenance. There's no
Whose office is up there on the third floor?
There's no,
Community
Where
court,
it was.
or court services.
over here.
Yeah, on this side, that's on the south,
That's
west side.
where Dawn has all of her,
Oh, that's the old county attorney's office.
that's where there's a lot of court documents.
That's storage. But there's not maybe they're painted or.
No.
Used to be the, county engineer's office.
There's
In the early eighties, ones up there, really.
That was the county attorney's office. What's the
But
west?
before that, county engineer's.
Yeah, the worst, but maybe she had a kid. Although, I don't know.
Well,
The man hours it would take just to maintenance and paint. I believe it, horrible.
Yeah, that's where it was, that's where we had that discussion, like.
That one has a storm window. I'm surprised. Yeah, that would help, but I don't think you could do that with historical building. I don't think you could just put storm windows on it. It wouldn't.
No, I
There
think
used to
you
be storm windows on there.
get.
There used to be actual storm windows.
Where were they installed?
No, the old type with the.
Oh, okay. With like a screen?
Some of these still have, well, I think that's just the frame still there. I don't think the glass is actually there.
The actual, they kind of neglected seeing, I think it would have been seen it for a while.
That's what I
The
said.
windows would not have. Yeah.
Deteriorated with that.
Joe had indicated once he thought that the historical would make us put wood in, but every historical building I've seen lately that are in use, they let you replace to aluminum or, because that's what we did at Warren Hall. We were able to get those removed.
That's a historical building.
Yeah, it's not historical.
They thought they're not original. The windows aren't.
That's what I've been told. That might help us actually, because Warren Hall had the same thing.
Yeah. Historical Society approved it. I mean, all the records are down on the wall, but they approved us doing it. They signed off on it, so I don't see how we can tell us that we.
How long ago would that have been?
1977.
Yeah, that's what Warren Hall is, the windows that were there for like in the 50s. They were like the shiny aluminum, yeah. And that's what, they were trying to change the original color, and then they were held up in the store when they got it. They got it, they were able to give them what they needed.
Are we over with now?
Yeah, I'm finished, because this is, there's a motion to adjourn.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if, that office there and the office across from the county attorney's office, probably either of those would work for some place like IT that the public doesn't go to, or for, I don't know, do people go to HR?
It's public?
Yeah.
Employees would think.
Well, the only public you would have for HR would be your, health, the people that are associated with your health, plans or, any of your other deferred comp plans or anything like that would be your salespeople.
Oh,
Yeah, so that probably would work to move one of them up there. But IT's not even here yet, so.
so you're thinking like up there would be a good place for IT, is that what you're saying?
Well, it would work for them, I would think. It's not, it's not accessible, but I would think the ability to climb stairs would be an essential function of that job, so. Maybe it wouldn't, I don't know, maybe. Just another thing to think about as a place to, somebody could go.
It's a good space.
See, I don't know anything about what's up there currently. Is there just empty rooms or? There's, the clerk has files stored there. Clerk of the district court has files stored there. So moved.
I'll second that. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye. Just about did it again. I come in from lunchtime, I have a hat on. I'm so used to wearing it, I forget to take it off, so. Any future time you see me wearing it, I don't intend to, disrespect the office that we're in during session.
Pickle with the township.
Yeah. They've been having issues for a while. I've been hearing. So they hand them a blank disc? My God.
See, Janice took care of everything.
Pauline, we didn't get them signed. These aren't signed. This is what we got.
That's what we got.
The statute says they have to be verified.
Okay. I can, I'll call him.
Verified by affidavit, and shall be examined by the Board of County Commissioners. So we probably ought to put every township's annual report on the agenda. Next week is too soon, but if you find fault with them, then you can order them to appear to fix it.
I'm still waiting on some, I've been calling them.
Well, then maybe that suggests putting them on, a month out, and telling them we're submitting it to the commission if you don't want to.
Carrie, see, they have reports to send in, and she said she sent out letters and called them, and she still doesn't have them, they don't respond.
Yeah, it sounds like a big mess. But I know statutorily, like, those boards, they can audit themselves, not that I agree with it, but it's
Yeah,
just we got.
the statute says that
It's not only they
act
can.
as an auditing board.
It's not only they can, they have to.
I don't think they have, well, I mean, I think it's an audit, but I think, don't they can go outside.
Well, they could do that, but they
Yeah.
have an obligation to do an audit.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They're trying to go through some stuff before they clean it all up.
They put mine back, but they put the right one on the left and the left one on the right.
Did you clean yours out already too?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you clean yours out already, that whole thing that you got?
There's not very much, well, no, am I supposed to?
Well, I think they're asking us like the stuff that we need to do.
Hardly
Okay, do
any,
you have anything that you need to pitch for this?
hardly any of it's mine. I mean, it's all stuff. Winter. Courthouse window project. From Mark Lee.
Well, you inherited it, so did you?
Yeah.
2007. Architectural proposal from Trainer Architects from 2007. It might actually be worth reading for some background. Well, 8 years later, nothing nailed it right.
be there by the end of January, so the first meeting in February, we ought to have our agenda of the year. And, of course, I never looked at that statute until this came up, but.
I'd seen some of those statutes, or some of those, they started complaining about it. You know, several people called me, and I was trying to put you on the spot with John Morton, he called, Jody Service had called me and said, hey, are we coming home? I said, well, so we were supposed to have a 1:45 meeting. I was like, we really didn't have anything on that agenda.
Yeah, I met with the two gals that were here, Kathy Swigert.
She called me once, but I haven't met her until,
the other female that was there. And I told them the same thing. There's nothing that the Board of County Commissioners can do. We can't fire them. You can do a recall petition. I gave her the forms for doing a recall petition. No, we met, I printed off a bunch of statutes.
well, John Morton does them last week. He had said something to me like, we just want the county to take over. I was like, well, I don't think it's just that simple. I said, you have to like vote with people.
Yeah, you do.
To do that.
It's easier to do that.
And he was just pissed off that Bruce is, you know, obviously, I mean, the biggest concern I probably had was that open meetings stuff, that they were not showing, they were not having a meeting where they had said they were located, and then they, you know, call, hey Joe, come here, and they still have to turn over the books. I mean, that's pretty scrupulous, if you ask me. Hopefully I didn't get you in trouble. I wasn't trying to put you on the spot about that inspection stuff. I mean,
I'll say what I remember.
I know.
I'll say what I remember about our discussion with Trey too. It wasn't, hey, we're thinking about this in a few months. It was 5 years from now, we might be ready to talk about this.
Sure.
It was definitely years from now.
Yeah, and I think that what's changed, I mean, because I know Dave Houseman, I told you Dave Houseman called me last Friday with concern of location too, and he's like, I think there's ways to work together on this, and there's probably some significant savings we could probably do.
Yeah, but what's wrong with saying, let's have a discussion about it instead of, you guys did this behind our back. We didn't do jack behind your back.
But they also were public about it, and that's why we wanted to have more public discussions about it.
We should have public discussions about everything.
And I agree with you 100%.
I don't disagree with that, but Trey saying, I felt like I was cut off at the knees because you did this without, you know, we put our agenda on the website every week. We had discussions about it that were on the agenda.
Yeah, I think, you know.
And why not just say, we might have a proposal that's better? And I think even if you buy this land, I think you'll be able to sell it in 2 years or more. I mean, probably if you were willing to put it on the market now.
There's no cost savings, I think I'm trying to tell them. There's no cost savings. You're easily, in his reality, one of the minimum.
But you don't know. We don't know if there's a cost saving for the city to do it because there's no proposal.
The cost savings for that would be facility.
But there's no proposal because they haven't said, we'll do it for the same amount or we'll do it for less. They haven't done that.
I know, but we haven't had a chance to even have those discussions. That's why I told Trey and Dave Howell, like, we have to have those discussions together.
They need to come up with a proposal. Is this one?
Which one?
My electric, notifying us?
I know, because it could be. You know what to do.
It's got a light on it, that's pretty cool. If my grandma were still alive.
The whole thing is a very bad taste went up, because I know, and Bobby Hanna was sleazy, very sleazy, you know, and I know that he was contacting people and, you know, oh, you gotta buy it, there's a church, somebody had this famous line that tells everybody, like, somebody's interested in it.
I don't know if that's sleazy, that's every salesperson.
He takes it to a whole level.
And if
I mean, he came to my house.
It was true.
He came to my house at like 8 or 8:30 at night because he fucked up and didn't get stuff signed. I still have an issue with that.
I wish we would have remembered asking.
We need to get copies. Once you get them, we'll get copies of everything that we signed because I think there's an issue with that signing it. He specifically told me the 27th. We didn't take any action on anything until 28th. There's no way that I could sign it
period of time.
There's an issue with multiple dates on the contract, I think.
And I don't know, I don't know what it was, or which were in there. Are you going that way?
I've actually gotta go try and renew my tags. I gotta go to the county attorney's office. So how is Bill, I mean, what, have you looked into seeing, I mean, I'm assuming that he's going to, actually, let me run the restroom, please, restroom real quick. What is the procedure? I mean, I assume Bill will be back in a few weeks, but hell, I don't know. It seems like everything's ready to come out. Something else happened. Something else is wrong with his colon. That's all I know is that she thought maybe today or tomorrow at the earliest before he would have surgery, and she made a comment about she thought